God is slowly being removed from America. Why do you think that is?
I guess towards the end of the 1800s, beginning of the 1900s, there was the shift towards rationalism. In literature, you saw it in realism and naturalism. People starting to use reason as a way of almost of saving themselves, as a way of justifying themselves and making themselves better. It created sort of a humanism. There was kind of a reaction to that with modernism and then postmodernism, shifting back around to more of the metaphysical ideas, getting away from rationalism, but still the heart, which was God, had kind of gone out of culture, and we used this metaphysical to be more of an exploration of ourselves rather than an exploration of something higher or something beyond ourselves in a lot of cases.
Have you seen any of these changes in your lifetime?
I guess in my elementary school, which was a public elementary school, we had the Ten Commandments posted in our classroom. And now, within the last 2 years, I've heard of maybe the last school in Virginia fighting to keep the Ten Commandments inside the school building. There's been more of a change, nothing that I can quantify, but of the political correctness of having God's name posted in public places. Even politicians, it's becoming less chic to be Christian or even religious.
Do you think these changes in the American culture have been out of tolerance or out of rebellion?
I think a lot of it is this appeasement. Lots of people say this, but we have become a culture of tolerance. With this shift from the rational to more of the metaphysical, we tend to really encourage gray areas. We tend to encourage expression of thought from all people, unless they're going to be black and white in general. And I think a lot of it has to do with people with the schools or politicians or whatever not wanting to step on other people's toes, to offend them, to, as they would say it, take away their freedom of, step on their rights as people by trying to force one ideology upon them. And some might argue that in some ways that also takes away from the Christian or, whatever other religion that they're trying to remove from these public spheres.
Have you seen any of these changes at Liberty?
I think within the time that I have been at Liberty, we have gone from requiring a statement of faith from all of the students to now requiring a statement of where you are in your spiritual life. And I think that that's wonderful because Liberty University is not a church. We don't need people to be, from what the administration is going for, we don't need everyone to be a Christian who comes to our university, because we aren't just a church body. We are a university that's trying to promote the gospel in the world, and we teach things based on Christian values. And if someone is willing to come here and to live under Liberty's way for their 4 years here, then I think that that's great. I haven't seen much of an ideological shift, haven't seen any doctrinal changes that I'm aware of, but I don't know everything that goes on with the school. So.
Yeah.
I guess in my elementary school, which was a public elementary school, we had the Ten Commandments posted in our classroom. And now, within the last 2 years, I've heard of maybe the last school in Virginia fighting to keep the Ten Commandments. We tend to encourage expression of thought from all people unless they're going to be black and white in general. People with the schools or politicians or whatever not wanting to step on other people's toes to offend them. I think that we, as a culture, we can't get away from these certain moral obligations that we have for all of our citizens. And to have these obligations, we need to have some sort of common understanding of morality.